Great resource used while we're out there on the reserve. So normally there's an abundance of species. Occasionally you all will see an animal that I happen to miss. Now we are going to start our safari here in the Little Ituri Forest. Now here in the Little Ituri Forest is very dense with vegetation. A lot of animals that live here love to use their natural colors to remain hidden from any potential predators. Now at times it does make them just a little bit difficult to spot. So look from side to side. There's no telling what type of animals that we will find. Now on our left-hand side, there is a copper-colored animal at the top of the hill. Now, my friends, just a reminder, remain seated at all times.
Wow.
Now, that is a bongo all the way up at the top of that hill. And bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest, as they are so rarely seen. Now, both the male and female bongos have horns, and they use those horns to be able to move throughout the vegetation without getting tangled up. Over on the right-hand side, you might see some tan-colored animals through the trees. Those are the greater kudu.
Oh, the kudu.
Now, greater kudu, the males typically live in solitary, while the
deer.
females will form groups of 2 to 10. Now, only the male greater kudus have horns. Those two up there were definitely females. The male greater kudus are very large, about 55 inches in height. And over on the right-hand side, there's a black and white colored bird. That is the saddle-billed stork. Now, saddle-billed stork, they grow to be about 5 feet tall and have a wingspan of about 9 feet. Now, to put that in perspective, the canopy above your head, it's about 10 feet wide. Now, it's very easy to tell if a saddle-billed stork is a male or a female, as all you have to do is look at their eye color. The females have yellow-colored eyes, while the males have brown-colored eyes.
Interesting.
Now, my friends, we are going to leave the Little Ituri Forest, and we're going to make our way over to the Safi River. Now, over in the Safi River, we can only find animals who love to hang out near bodies of water. Now, my friends, there will be 2 bodies of water, one on either side of our truck. So we are going to look between the two, as there's no telling what we will encounter.
Whoa. Bouncy. Bumpy. Little ducks.
Now, as we head down here, over on our right-hand side, across the water, those very large white-colored birds are pink-backed pelicans.
Yep.
Now, pink-backed pelicans get their name because they get a pink coloration during mating season. And the really cool thing is, it's their skin that changes colors, not their feathers. So think of it just like blushing for birds. Now, those birds will nest in pairs of 50 to 500. So anywhere between 100 and 1,000 birds will be nested all together. When they are nested together like that, it is called a pod. Now, keep your eyes out on that left-hand side, as sometimes there's Nile hippos moving about in the water. Now, sometimes it's very hard to find those Nile hippos, as they can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time. Now, they will sleep completely submerged underwater. Every 8 minutes, their body has a natural reaction to bring themselves to the surface, grab a breath of fresh air without even waking up. If you look on your left-hand side, it looks like there might be a Nile hippo right next to those waterfalls there. Underneath the water.
Oh, it's under the water. Yes. I see a little bit.
Over on our left-hand side, there are some Nile crocodiles.
Now, wait.
Now,
I see
need everyone to remain fully seated for me, all the way on those back pockets, please. The Nile crocodiles are the largest crocodilian species in all of Africa. You reach a length of 16 feet and weigh up to 500 pounds. And while they look very intimidating, they're extremely gentle creatures. As both mom and dad roll their eggs around mouth in there for hours at a time. And doing that actually helps soften up the egg and helps jumpstart the hatching process. Now, my friends, we are going to head over to the savannah. So if you have your phones or cameras, have them out. Have them ready, but do me a favor and please hold on to them tightly.
We will.
Now, if you're not going to jump anything off the side of the truck, try to let me know as soon as possible. Though I cannot promise your item will get back to you in the same condition in which you dropped it. But over on the right-hand side, there's a very large bare tree, and that is called a baobab tree.
Baobab.
Now, baobab trees are leafless for up to 9 months out of the year. They're also known as the upside down tree, as it looks like their roots are coming out of the top. Now the baobab tree plays a very vital role out here on the savannah.
Interesting.
You see the baobab tree can hold up to 30,000 gallons of water. During times of drought, during dry seasons, animals will actually use the baobab tree as a water source. Now in the baobab tree, another nickname called the Tree of Life.
Tree of wow.
Now as we head down here on the savannah, take a look at the grass and the trees. It all looks perfect, almost Disney perfect. Now the really cool thing is no humans tend to the grass or the trees out here. It's all the animals that live out on the reserve. So some of the grazing animals that live out here, like the wildebeest, love to keep that grass nice and short. Well, some of the taller animals that live out here, like the Maasai giraffe, love to keep those trees nice and trimmed. Now on our left-hand side, look at that rock den, but right in front of that rock den, there are some African wild dogs.
Oh, I see them right there.
Now, my friends, I need everyone to remain fully seated for me, please. The African wild dogs are the most successful hunters in all of Africa.
Oh, I saw that.
They can have a success rate about
I couldn't see that.
90%. Put that in perspective, a lion success rate, it's only about 30%. Now, the gray-colored animals on our left-hand side, those are the wildebeest. All the way in the back with those beautiful brown coats, those are the sable antelope. Closer to us for those striped animals, those are the Hartmann's mountain zebra. Now, sable antelope are the emblem of the reserve, and they're that for good reason. See, unlike many of the other antelope species, when faced with danger, these sable antelope will turn and fight, instead of running away and hiding. Now, the wildebeest, they take part in what's called the Great Migration. That's where they migrate anywhere between 500 and 1,000 miles a year. Now, during the Great Migration, up to 1.5 million wildebeest will migrate together. It's actually said that the dust storm that they kick up can be seen all the way from space. Now, those Hartmann's mountain zebras back there, they have very narrow hooves. They use those narrow hooves to be able to move up and down the sides of mountains a whole lot easier. Now, a lot of people do ask, are they black with white stripes or white with black stripes? Well, my friends, the Hartmann's mountain zebras are black with white stripes. We know that based on the pigment of their nose. Now, those stripes on a zebra are unique to each and every individual zebra. As no two zebras have the same stripes pattern, and they'll use those stripes to be able to differentiate each other while walking around. Now, on the Hartmann's mountain zebra, right underneath their chin, they have an extra skin flap. And that extra flap is called a dewlap. And that dewlap is actually used for thermal regulation. It helps with their body's temperature. Now, hopping back to those sable antelopes, one of the coolest facts about them is their hierarchy. Now, the sable antelopes are ran by a dominant male. Now, that dominant male makes absolutely zero decisions for the group, as this is actually the dominant female that makes every single decision for the sable antelope.
Wow.
Now, my friends, as we continue along, I think I see a Maasai giraffe off in the distance. I see a couple of them actually. Maasai giraffe are the tallest animals on Earth. Now, they can reach a height of about 20 feet tall. Now, when they are first born, they're only about 6 feet tall. The first thing a baby giraffe gets to experience is a 6-foot drop straight to the ground. Now, giraffes will only sleep about 30 minutes a day. They'll do that in short minute-to-minute increments all throughout the day. This time they do sleep standing up. It's the only time you really see giraffes sitting or laying down is when they're extremely comfortable in their environment. And off to our right-hand side, you might notice there's 4 very small tan-colored animals laying down. Those are the springbok. Now, springbok are the national animal of South Africa. They're actually the mascot of many professional sports teams all throughout Africa. Now, springbok have the ability to leap 15 feet forward and 6 feet up in the air with one single jump. Now, when they do jump like that, it is called pronking. Now, the spots on a giraffe are unique to each and every individual giraffe. No two giraffes have those same spot pattern. Think of it just like a fingerprint for us humans. None of us have the same fingerprints. Well, no two giraffes have the same spots.
Yeah.
And over on the right-hand side, there is a tan-colored animal on the tree line that's very large. That is an eland. Now, eland are the largest antelope species throughout Africa. They can grow to be about 6 to 8 feet tall at the shoulders. They can actually weigh about 2,000 pounds. Even given that impressive size, they're still able to jump about 5 feet up in the air. Now, over on the right-hand side, I do think I spot an African elephant. We should get a better view of that African elephant here in just a moment. But on very hot days, you'll actually see African elephants flap their ears back and forth. Now, the reason they do that is to help keep themselves cool. It's a built-in air conditioning system. And on very sunny days, African elephants actually fling mud onto their back. Now, the reason they do that is because they have very sensitive skin. That mud acts as a sunblock for the African elephant. Keeps them safe from the sun's harmful rays.
You see it, Jackson?
Now, unfortunately for the African elephants, unsafe mining practices all throughout Africa has led to habitat loss. That's forced them to migrate closer and closer to humans. And a lot of times they migrate right through farmers' fields. Sadly, farmers are poaching elephants to keep their crops safe. Now, here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, we wanted to find a solution to that problem. And our researchers found out something very, very interesting. It's that elephants, much like a lot of us, are scared of bees. And using that knowledge, they traveled all the way to Kenya. Helped farmers construct beehive fences.
Bees?
Now, those fences are great not only for the elephants, who now stay clear of any human interaction, but it's also great for those farmers, as we're able to sell that honey to the local villages and help grow the local economy. Over on our right-hand side, my friends, there are some tusk marks in that red clay. That could mean there are some more elephants nearby. The elephants dig their tusks into that red clay and they end up eating the clay. Now, the reason they do that is to help them get all the vitamins and nutrients that they don't get in their everyday diet. You can think of it just like a multivitamin for the African elephant. And the really cool thing is, on a normal day, elephants will eat about 300 pounds of vegetation.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
What was that? 300. It's a vegetation in a day. Like birds.
Now, elephants, much like humans, will reach the age of maturity at about 14 years old. Now, unlike humans, at the age of 14, male elephants are kicked out of the herd. Now, the reason for that is because elephants live in what's called a matriarchy. What that means is that the female elephants rule the world. So at the age of 14, male elephants will go off on their own to live in solitary. Or occasionally they'll form groups with other male elephants called bachelor herds. Now, elephants have another human-like characteristic to themselves, is they're either right or left side dominant. Now, the way to tell which side the elephant's more dominant side is fairly easy. So all you have to do is look at their tusks. Whichever tusk is filed down more, that is the elephant's more dominant side. But over on our right-hand side, my friends, through the tall grass, you might see some horns sticking out. Those are the horns of the Ankole cattle.
Right there.
And Ankole cattle are one of 2 domesticated animals that live out here on the reserve. They're also known as the Watusi cattle, after the Watusi tribe that first domesticated them. Now, those horns are about 5 to 6 feet in length, tip to tip. While they look very heavy, they're actually pretty light given their size, weighing in at about 5 to 10 pounds each. That's due to the honeycomb-like structure on the inside that allows blood to flow up into their horns, cool off, and then come back down into the Ankole cattle's body. That's actually how they regulate their body's temperature on extremely hot days. On our left-hand side, my friends, you will see some greater flamingos. Now, greater flamingos, when they are first born, are gray in coloration. Now, as they continue to grow and eat their diet, they become the lightest shade of pink out of all the flamingo species. Now, that diet, it consists of brine shrimp. From that shrimp, they receive what's called beta-carotene. That's actually what turns their feathers pink. Now there are two different species of flamingos here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. The greater flamingos that we just saw, as well as the lesser flamingos. Now the lesser flamingos can be found just to the left of the Tree of Life if you're looking at it from the entrance. If you have some extra time today, I always suggest heading over there, seeing if you can spot the difference between the two species. Now there's no animals on our left-hand side, but there's a mud swallow there. Mud swallows are normally a very good indication that there are white rhinos nearby. See, white rhinos, much like African elephants, have extremely sensitive skin. Now to combat the sun's harmful rays, what they do is roll around in the mud. They coat themselves from head to toe. That mud keeps them safe from the sun's harmful rays. Now keep your eyes out on the left-hand side, and sometimes there's cheetahs walking around. Now cheetahs are the fastest land mammal. They can run speeds of up to about 60 miles an hour. Now my friends, I need everyone to remain fully seated. Now they can only sustain that speed for a few hundred yards. When they run at that speed, they use their long and powerful tail like a rudder in a boat to help them change directions. Now, cheetahs have black stripes underneath each eye. And if any of us are sports fans here, you've probably seen athletes use eye black to help redirect the sunlight. It's the same thing for the cheetahs, as cheetahs will hunt during the day, which makes them nocturnal. Those black stripes helps redirect that sunlight, gives them better vision, allows them to become even more efficient hunters. The very large rock formation you see on your left-hand side is called a kopie. Around kopies, you know, find some pretty cool animals like white rhinos, ostriches, cheetahs. Sometimes there's even lions that hang out over this way. But over on our right-hand side, there's an animal laying all by itself right on that tree line. That's a bottesbok. It's brown in coloration.
I see it.
Now, bottesboks have truly the most amazing conservation story I've ever heard. Because back in the early 1900s, there's only 20 left in the entire world. Now, a farmer noticed this and fenced them all in and helped revitalize the species. Nowadays, there are about 3,000 bottesboks living in the world. Most of them do live on reserves, just like this one, but they are still considered extinct out in the wild. The bottesbok that lives here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve is actually the oldest living bottesbok in the entire world. Over on our left-hand side, I see some burrows, and sometimes that means there are warthogs hanging out. Warthogs are the largest burrowing mammals. They'll actually back themselves into their burrows at night. Now the reason they do that is to show those big and powerful tusks they possess. It actually helps deter any predators from attacking them while they sleep. Over on the right-hand side, there are 3 waterbuck walking around.
Waterbuck, never mind.
Waterbuck are part of the wilderness.
thought it was
So a lot of
a
people think
warthog
that they
at first.
love to migrate.
They're way bigger than
But the
that.
waterbuck will actually find their favorite watering hole. Never go more than about 200 miles away from it. Now the waterbuck have extremely oily fur. That oily fur actually allows them to become water resistant. Now my friends, we are entering Magadi Glen. Now in Magadi Glen is at the outskirts of our reserve. Now over here the warden's post is located. Now at times the warden has some pretty cool friends hanging out in the front and backyards. So we're going to make our way over there, see what the warden has going on today. Now it does not look like the warden has any friends out here today, but in the middle of the warden's yard there is that yellow contraption. Now to me that looks like a beehive. So it looks like the warden is doing their part to make sure that those African elephants are staying safe from any human interaction. My friends, we saw a lot of cool animals out there, and we just passed the warden's post, which unfortunately means that our safari together is coming to an end. Now I do want to thank each and every single one of you for hanging out with me for those last 2 weeks, learn about all of those amazing animals. Now, if you want to continue seeing even more amazing animals at the front of the park on either side, there are different species of animals that I highly suggest you check out. My friends, a lot of animals we saw out there today do need our help.
Yeah, after this we should
Doing something as
definitely
small as
go.
recycling plastic water bottles,
Oh,
using reusable products, or even if you buy a piece of merchandise here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, you'll be able to donate to Disney Conservation Fund. Now that fund helps animals all over the world, not just the ones you saw on today's safari. Now Disney will match all donations dollar for dollar, cent for cent, so it is like you are doubling your donation. Now you also get a very cool 50th anniversary conservation hero pin with any size donation. But Asante Sana, my friends, that does mean thank you in Swahili. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Now, we spent 2 weeks together, so I'd call us pretty good friends. And I do not like to leave my friends with a goodbye. So it is far too sad and far too final. Here in Harambe, we like to say Kwal Harini, which means to go well. So my friends, please go well.